Hello, people, and welcome back to Beyond the Ropes, our first or second show of 2026, because we recorded one earlier. We're so delighted to have you join us. Laurie, it's so nice to be back. It's been quite a whirlwind coming back from Thailand, but it's been made easier knowing that I'm in the studio with you today.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, of course.
I've got to say, man, you're glowing. You're looking well. You told me about your training routines.
Yeah.
I've seen your stuff on Insta. It's very impressive, all the kicking and stuff.
Thank you. I think that I am best suited for sunny weather. You know, it's one of those.
Oh, and it looks very cathartic.
Yes. Well, you'll have to join me next time I go. So on today's episode, guys, we want to talk about this whole fiasco, this saga with Vergil Ortiz.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm sure you are. Don't doubt that for a second. So let's start off with giving you guys a little bit of background about what's been going on. I think the first thing that's important to say is that Vergil Ortiz has filed a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit against Golden Boy Promotions. Now, why has he done this? So essentially, Vergil Ortiz is going to leave Golden Boy, and according to his management, Golden Boy's promotional deal has come to an end with DAZN, and that makes Ortiz a free agent. Ortiz's management has been claiming that Golden Boy is trying to force a fight with Boots Ennis and is in breach of contract because essentially they were meant to provide him with three proposed opponents, and they've not done that. They've just been pushing for this Boots fight. So based off of those reasons, Vergil Ortiz has decided to leave Golden Boy Promotions and file this lawsuit. He's not said a word.
No.
His management has spoken for him. But I think it's important to note that we all kind of suspected that the Boots fight was a little bit close to being done based on interactions that they'd had, right? Like after Ortiz's last win, they had a little face-off moment, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, after Ortiz is very impressive, I've got to say, win over Erickson Lubin. He blew him away. Very impressive, like I said. We were led to believe that the next fight would be between Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis was in attendance that night at the fight, and after Vergil Ortiz's post-fight interview, Jaron Boots Ennis stepped into the ring. He was very alpha. He had his hood up. And engaged Vergil Ortiz in not so much heated, but it was confrontational. And basically Boots was letting him know, said, listen, man, I'm here. Are we going to get this done or not? And Vergil said, yeah, I've always wanted to fight. You know that, blah, blah, blah. They were going back and forth. It was pretty entertaining stuff. Didn't get out of hand. But you could see that there was
something there.
Yeah, there was something there.
Some needle.
Yeah. And I've said this to you off camera, Melissa, and this is my honest opinion. I thought Vergil looked a bit shook that day. I really do.
Yeah,
I think
you have said that.
Maybe a little surprised at the sort of alpha presence in which Boots put it on him. He looked him in the eye, square in the eye, said, look, are we going to do this? I'm going to step all over you. You know, words to that effect. And I thought Vergil looked a little bit, Now, I'm not saying he's scared. I'm just telling you what I saw. Anyway, so I'm thinking that, right, that's it now.
This is
We're going
on.
to get the fight. Because let's be honest, Melissa, you know as well as I do. You speak to any boxing fan out there and they'll tell you that one of the fights that carries the most cachet, or the fight that most people want to see, definitely up there is Boots versus Vergil Ortiz.
Well, yeah, it was on our 2026 wish list, wasn't it? Yeah.
And you speak to any boxing fan, they'll tell you that. We all thought after that little confrontation in the ring, that's what we were going to see. So, Melissa, you will be as surprised as I was that in the days following, rather than hearing about meaningful negotiations starting for the fight, I'm starting to see Vergil Ortiz give interviews saying the fight he really wants is between him and Errol Spence because they're both from Texas block. I'm like, what?
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any career sense.
No.
Because Errol Spence is not the same.
Far from the same.
Yeah.
Listen, let me put my cards on the table. I'm a fully fledged member of the Errol Spence fan club, or I was. He was a great fighter, one of my favourite fighters. I went to see Errol Spence when he beat Kell Brook up in Sheffield years ago. That being said, though, the Errol Spence of 2026 is not the version that fought Kell Brook. Far from that. The guy's not necessarily lived a life outside the ring. He's had a series of mishaps. He's had two car crashes. One was nearly fatal. He's had eye surgeries. He had the fight with Terence Crawford, which, let's be honest, he's beaten from pillar to post. He's slurring his words, errorless. You only got to go online to see that.
Yeah.
For Vergil Ortiz to be even mentioning Errol Spence's name, for me, that was a disrespect, isn't it? Why are you calling out Errol Spence? So what if you're both from Texas? You know what I mean? The fight we want to see is Vergil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. Two guys, two great fighters, by the way, in their prime. That is a fight you want to see. When we get stuff BS like this is why people say about boxing is that, oh, I don't watch boxing no more because the best guys don't want to fight each other. This is what they're talking about.
Okay,
So,
question.
yeah,
Let me just step in here.
Yeah.
Do you think Vergil Ortiz, do you think that this whole thing has been staged? Not staged, but you know what I mean. Do you think this is a bit of a front for ducking Boots?
Absolutely, 100%. All this stuff about contracts and being this and that, straight cap. To me, they're ducking. They don't fancy that fight. I'm not saying he's scared. I'm not even saying he thinks he's going to lose. But right now, for whatever reason, they want to swerve Boots Ennis. They clearly see him as a legitimate and present danger.
Well, he is,
for
isn't he?
whatever reason, they don't want that fight. And this lawsuit is nothing but an elaborate smokescreen, in my opinion, to duck Boots Ennis. Do you agree? I know you.
I
nice
agree.
Guy. Come on, man. Talk to me.
Am I a nice guy? Yeah,
I
on
mean,
camera.
what else is it? As I said on the video, I did a video on my channel. Please watch it if you get the time. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's a
duck. Yeah,
it's a duck.
I hear it. I hear all of that, and I think I'm pretty much there with you, Laurie, in that it's. I don't like using the word duck, I wouldn't necessarily call it a duck, but what I would say is that, bro, why do you need 3 proposed opponents? Like, you guys already agreed this shit in the ring, so let's just get it on. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just get it on. Also, cool, you see him as a legitimate threat. Yes, of course there's a chance you're going to lose that fight, but do us, the boxing fans, a solid, and do your legacy a solid, and get into the ring with the best opposition
Previously,
for
he
you.
was accusing Boots Ennis of ducking. So what's changed? You were accusing Vergil Ortiz and his team. Oscar De La Hoya was very vocal. They don't want it. They don't want it. The man said he wants it. He looked Vergil Ortiz in the face, in the ring, and said, I want it. The eyes of the world were all watching. Now you're telling me about contracts.
Yeah, but you know what
man.
they say, like, it stuff like that, for me, it always smells a bit like overcompensation. Like, when you're screaming about someone else doesn't want the fight, it always makes me think, are you projecting? And I don't know, you guys can draw your own opinions. In fact, let us know.
To me, Boots Ennis wants to fight. He wants to fight.
No, clearly Boots wants to fight. Like, I think that much is clear. But I'm intrigued to know what you guys think. Do you think the contractual stuff is, principal, contract, that kind of vibe?
I think that there's people within Vergil. I'm not even necessarily blaming him, There could be 1 or 2 people within his team, trainers and people like that, advisors, who are saying, actually, you know what, we don't need to fight him right now. You can make X amount of money fighting this guy, fighting Errol
Potentially.
Spence. We can deal with him later. He might lose. He might have a couple of bad performances, and people do. You know what I mean?
It could be.
It's just, trust me, people. I've seen this so many times before. He's ducking, and it's unacceptable, and it's really disappointing because we thought we were on the verge of getting one of the biggest fights in 2026, and here we are. This man's now talking about suing his promoter, and I would never say it. I feel sorry for Oscar De La Hoya because you know what I mean. But I do feel that he's been thrown under the bus into this situation because clearly Oscar's been trying to make the fight. This thing about there's something in the contract that they need 3 potential opponents. You said that you wanted to fight Boots. You said it in the ring. You said, let's fight next. So why do you need...
I would really actually
What's all that about?
I would like to get clarification from other boxers about this whole 3 opponent thing, proposition part of the contract, like...
No, I've heard that before.
Okay,
About,
okay.
When you have a fight, they present you with a list of opponents.
Right, okay.
And then it's down to you and your manager. But
Yeah,
then
but
you
I
said
think...
in the ring...
Exactly,
You gave the undertaking that you wanted to fight Boots next. So why do you need another 2 opponents?
Surely it's also like circumstance and situation specific, right?
Yes, yeah.
So anyway, please guys, let us know in the comments if you think if you think it's a duck or if you think it's a legitimate contractual issue. Would be really interested to hear that. in other news,
Right, in other news.
we have. I just wanted to course correct us into,
To calm me down a bit. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. In other news, we've got a really exciting fight taking place this weekend. We've got Andy Cruz challenging Raymond Muratalla for the IBF lightweight title. And this is really exciting because for those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you some stats. So Andy Cruz is 6-0. He's, developing his professional record, I think is fair to say. On paper, he looks super inexperienced against Raymond Muratalla, who's 23-0. 17 of those wins have come by way of knockout. However, Andy Cruz was an exceptional talent as an amateur. He's a Cuban Olympic star, and he defeated Keyshawn Davis in the Tokyo Olympics. He won 3 world championships.
I think he's defeated Keyshawn there about 4 times. As an amateur.
And Keyshawn's no joke, obviously. 3 world championship golds and 1 Olympic gold. So, the guy is an amateur legend. For me, this fight is a little bit like the old guard versus the new guard. It's also an interesting one because Raymond Muratalla was champion in recess and he got made full champion after Lomachenko, my husband's retirement.
Loma, yes.
Loma ZAD is his new name. He got made full champion after Loma's retirement. So for him as well, it's a little bit like, the stakes are quite high. It's about validating that title, isn't it? What do you make of it?
Great fight, man. I mean, it's a shame that it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit because neither fighter, I would say, is that well known, especially in this country. But they're 2 excellent fighters. I mean, Andy Cruz, if you've seen this guy as an amateur, absolutely outstanding. Like I said, he's beaten Keyshawn Davis 4 times as an amateur, including in the final of the 2020 Olympic Games, and he beat him quite comfortably as well. So he's an excellent fighter, excellent skilled. He's teamed up with Jaron Ennis and those guys as well. He trains over in Philly. The trouble he's had is that, and he's promoted by Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn, I've got to be honest, has not done a great job in promoting him. He's only had 6 fights, which is too few.
Very few, given that we're in 2026.
Exactly, and he's not really had those real highlight reel fights, and fights that people can kind of identify with the guy. But he's a tremendous talent. Muratalla, seasoned pro, good puncher, trained by Robert Garcia and those guys. Real hard-nosed pro. This is going to be a great fight. I'm leaning towards Cruz, but Muratalla's got the greater experience, and that could be a factor in a 12-round fight because Andy Cruz is not a big puncher.
Yeah, huge factor.
Yeah,
that experience, especially in the pro ranks, it counts for a lot actually, because whatever experience you have as an amateur is a very different sport to professional boxing.
100%.
And as a professional, if you've been in 23 professional fights, you faced a range of skills and a range of boxers with different attributes.
And Muratalla can punch, he's a good body puncher. And like I said, he has a style that is more, how can I put it? It's more suited to the pros, is a simple answer. But skill for skill, though, I think Cruz, his footwork is sensational. He's a very skilled boxer, but can he replicate that over 12
Can it translate?
Hard rounds?
Yes.
That's what we're going to find out, because I do think the fight will go the distance this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching it live. I'm sure you will as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. Really looking forward to it. And just to close off, because I know we're kind of running out of time, wanted to get your thoughts on something, Laurie.
Sure.
So Eddie Hearn has said this week that he believes that Tyson Fury is in the prime of his career and that he's good for the sport. And I would love to get your viewpoint.
Well, the latter could be seen to be true, but the first one's ridiculous. How can Tyson Fury be in the prime of his career? I mean, how old is Tyson Fury now? 37, 38 years old now, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
He's been in boxing a long, long time. He's definitely not in the prime of his career. However, you could argue that he's good for the sport. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Tyson Fury because I don't like his inconsistency. But then some people look at that, and that's why they like him, because he's unpredictable. He says things, he does things that are kind of off the cuff. And
he's relatable in that sense, I think, to the common man, right?
Yes. A lot of people like him. I'm not going to deny that, and he is good for the sport in many ways. But to say he's in his prime is just promoter speak, in it, because obviously.
Why do you think he said it?
Because he's trying to line up the fight with AJ. Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, that's what I think about that. Eddie Hearn says a lot of stuff that even he knows is not true. But if he thinks it will sell a fight, then he'll say it. Typical promoter.
Yeah, good promoter.
Yeah, he is a good promoter.
You know,
Yeah, he's not the most likable of people, I've got to admit. But he is a very good promoter, which is the important thing at the end of the day.
That's his job.
He doesn't care if people like me like him. It's all about.
Yeah. It
what
makes
he
no
does for his
difference if
fighters.
people like
No,
him,
not
you know,
at all.
as long as he's selling the
He
fight.
enjoys the notoriety, I'm sure.
Of course he does, yeah.
If you're talking about him, he likes it. So.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I think we've come to the end of the show. Laurie, is there anything else you want to add before we close off?
No, great to see you back.
Thank you.
Looking forward to doing many more shows in 2026.
Likewise.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think this could be a big year for boxing. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very exciting year for boxing. Guys, let us know in the comments, you know, which fights you're looking forward to seeing in 2026. And yes, in the meantime, please remember to comment, like, share and subscribe. And we look forward to catching you on the next episode of Beyond the Ropes.